What's up, YouTube? This is Matt, aka ViewtifulLinkerJoe, and a quick little introduction about me. I am your new vocal personality for this page, TeamDivinePro. No luck, all skill. Now, I recently talked with Tony, who is the person in charge of this page, and my buddy Scruffy Pillows. If you don't already know him, he was the video before me. We all got together and we all came to, I guess, sort of an agreement. So I am now a new member to the page. I am now a part of the TeamDivinePro team. A little counterintuitive there, but I am your new YouTube video maker. And as you can see with my trusty Viewtiful Joe mat, that my mascot is Joe himself. So anytime you see a video with Joe, you know that it is me. And I am now getting more into the Vanguard and Weiss OCG because with TeamDivinePro's page, with the focus of Cardfight Vanguard and Weiss, I will be focusing more on that. I do have my own separate YouTube channel, ViewtifulLinkerJoe, but because it's more Yu-Gi-Oh focused, you don't have to pay attention to that. We're focused on this page, this channel, and its content. So, without further ado, here is my first video for the DivinePro page. Now, this is going to be a little bit of an unorthodox deck profile. It is going to be a Cardfight Vanguard deck profile on an Oracle Think Tank deck that my friend actually came to me for a deck profile because I was actually getting a little bit bored with the deck and its combinations. So I was like, you know what, I need a little bit of change of pace. Hey, you think you can help me out? He said, sure. This is what he came up with. Now, a little disclaimer about the deck. Actually, I have two. One, it is definitely not recommended that you take this to tournament play. I mean, you can, and it would do decently, but it's not meant to be a deck for that kind of environment. It's definitely more casual, but it can definitely put up a fight. The second one is that it's really unorthodox, so don't expect anything too mainstream in terms of what the deck is supposed to run. So with that in mind, here is the deck profile. Now, I said it's an Oracle Think Tank deck profile, so our starter is actually going to be Godhawk Ichibiyoshi. As you all know, if you don't already know, on the start before your ride phase, you can check the top 5 cards of your deck. Search for one Crescent Moon Goddess Tsukuyomi. If it's there, you can ride it, and if you do, you have to skip your normal ride phase. So, not bad, because you'll end up putting them at the bottom in any order, so you get to start a stack of cards that you may or may not hit later on. But that is your starter. So obviously the deck is going to be focused on the Tsukuyomi ride chain. So keep that in mind when you're going through this video. Now let's start with the triggers. We run 4 Miracle Kid, your draw trigger. Pretty self-explanatory. The deck is actually revolving around drawing, so this is actually very key to the deck. Next, we run 4 Emergency Alarmer. What? Stand triggers in Oracle Think Tank? Blasphemy! No, once you see some of the cards that are in this deck, you will understand why stand triggers are actually really important in this deck. But I run 4, so I run 8 total, so the other one being Battle Sister Assam. So 8 stand triggers, 4 draw, and what would be a trigger lineup without heal triggers? 4 Losange Magus. Now I have 2 of each because I really enjoy alternate arts of any card actually. So I like to have a little bit of diversity in terms of art because I can appreciate the art. I am an artist myself. So that is what that is. So no big deal there. But those are the triggers. 17 grade zeros. On to grade 1s. Now, as I said, Tsukuyomi Ride Chain would not be complete without the Crescent Moon. Pretty simple. And then when it's Vanguard, check the top 5 before your ride phase, search for up to 1 Half Moon, and ride it. And then you can put the rest at the bottom of the deck in any order. Next, we have 4 8K Vanilla Laser Baby Face, as Carol Ann Day would famously say. Oracle Guardian Gemini. Just good for 8K boost. Make those high columns. Next, we have 4 of the Perfect Guard Battle Sister Chocolate. Probably one of my more favorite Battle Sisters. No, no, stay away, go away. I love its flavor. It's so fun. And lastly, for Dark Cat. When it's placed on Vanguard or Rearguard Circle, both players can choose to draw one card. Now, this is not bad. A lot of people would say this is like really situational. It's good because you get the draw, but bad because the opponent gets the draw. But everything in this deck, as you will learn through my deck profile, that everything is expendable. You honestly don't care what happens to these cards. And early game, this is really good for push. Late game, it will struggle, but overall, everything is expendable. Those are grade 1s. Grade 2s. Again, Tsukuyomi Right Chain. 4. Goddess of the Half Moon. Now, when she's ridden and you have Crescent Moon and Godhawk in your soul, you get the soul charge 2. And then when this is on your Vanguard Circle, you check the top 5 cards, search for a full moon, and put the rest at the bottom of your deck. That would be your go-to. Now, this is where the deck gets interesting. I run 4 Maiden of Libra. 2 of these are the double R, and 2 of these are the reprint R. I like the double R better because it's prettier. Anyway, now this is where the deck will really get kind of unorthodox, as I've said before. As we all know, Maiden of Libra is Counterblast 2. If the attack hits both either Vanguard or Rearguard, you get to draw 1 card. Now, this will force your opponent to either guard or let the Rearguard or Vanguard attack hit and let you draw that 1 card. Comboed with the card that I'm going to show you later on just now, it actually gets really mind games on your opponent. This deck is definitely trying to make your opponent forced to either use cards in their hand to guard or let the attack hit so that you can get advantage later on. So, with that in mind, 4 Maiden of Libra comboed with 4 Oracle Guardian Shisa. Now, this is probably one of the most oddball cards in the deck that people will not expect at all. This is when its attack hits a Vanguard and you have 4 or more other Oracle Think Tank Rearguards, you can draw 1 card. And with this measly 7k attack, this probably won't hit very often, but because it's out on the field, it will actually force your opponent to either guard for that 5k or 10k, depending on how big your column is, or let the attack hit and let you get that free draw. This comboed with Libra and whatever your Vanguard is will force your opponent to either let you draw at least 1 or guard for at least 2 cards in hand. See, with this and Gemini behind it will make it 15. Now, if you have that 11k Vanguard opponent, they're going to guard for at least 5. That's 1 card less in their hand that you have to worry about. Now, with that and stand triggers and all the other possible standing of this deck, this can actually be really annoying. That and Libra. This is where the deck is unorthodox because this is forcing your opponent to just use up resources while you maintain resources. So that is actually the go-to part of the deck. And because you have 4 of these and 4 Libra, both of these are expendable. This deck is very much sort of grade 2 rush. It is what it is. There are times where you have to actually put this in Rearguard behind Shisa, because once you have this and this as Rearguards, you really don't care about your stack. You just want to push your opponent to force them to use their cards in their hand, so that you can get their effects off, so that you can eventually get more advantage. Lastly, you have grade 3s, and again, Tsukuyomi Right Chain, 4 Goddess of the Full Moon, this one being signed by Miss Carol Ann Day herself. I actually met her on the first World Championship Regional, which is where I got her signature, but nonetheless, this one is Counterblast 2. If you have 6 or more Oracle Think Tank in Soul, you can draw 2 and add 1 from your hand to Soul. You don't care about that effect. You honestly don't. You do care about having all of them in Soul if this happens to be your Vanguard, because if they don't, then this just becomes a 9k Vanguard or Rearguard. Now, because you don't care about the columns, as long as it hits more than 11k, you'll be fine. This with Gemini becomes 19,000, you don't care. They have to guard for at least 10. They have to guard for at least 15 for 2 to pass. And then, not to mention, you have Shisa and Libra to still worry about. So, because it's kind of counterblast heavy, you don't care to use this counterblast. It's just there to add pressure. And lastly, to round up the deck profile, whoops, sorry about that. Let me, quick adjustment, sorry. 1, Goddess of the Sun, Amaterasu. Now this is only in there to add pressure, because if the attack hits the Vanguard, then you can counterblast to add 1 Oracle Think Tank unit throughout your deck and add it to your hand. And that'll probably be one of your grade 2s or grade 1s, depending on what you do, depending on what the situation calls for. This is just simply to add pressure. That's nothing else. If it's Vanguard, then you get that plus of the limit break. If it's rear guard, no big deal. But all of this deck is simply to put pressure on your opponent to force them to make plays. As long as you hit higher than 11k, like this Vanguard is, then you're fine. But that is the deck profile. Like I said, it is a little weird. It is definitely meant for casual play. I've used this deck against my buddies. It works well. It has its times where it's very inconsistent, but overall, the deck works the way it should. And I appreciate my friend for sending me this deck profile and making it for me. I've tested it all, It's funny when it works, It's definitely not meant for tournament play. But I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. I hope it was interesting. I will be bringing more sort of unorthodox deck profiles for the game and for Weiss hopefully very soon. Hope you guys enjoyed my commentary. I hope you guys will expect me very soon. Here's another project you guys can look forward to. I personally bought 2 boxes of Crayon Shinchan for Weiss, and I will have a deck profile with you guys very soon. I am missing only 10 cards to complete the deck, and I can hopefully have that by the end of this weekend. So definitely look forward to that. But this is ViewtifulLinkerJoe signing out for now. Stay calm and henshin to go, baby. Be sure to check our channel, comment, like, subscribe, all the other stuff that we do, and we'll be constantly keeping content out for you so you guys can check it out. See ya!